Shalom, shalom. Call Haloyim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem. Hakodash, double honors to the elders, to the apostles who I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so. Now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and Akwat out there listening and learning, Lord willingly. This is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. Brother Yahweh coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit, through the power of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai. Yahweh meaning He is, He exists, or He to be. By Hashem, by His in, His thus, in His name. Yahushai meaning He saves, or He deliverer. True names of the Most High God and the Son, whose people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ, but whose true name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushai. And this lesson is just, inspired by today's supposed to be, holiday. Esau Edom, pretty much. It's deemed Memorial Day. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up for y'all. See what the take of it is. So Memorial Day, it says key observances and traditions. National moment of remembrance. All Americans are asked to unite in a minute of silence at 3 p.m. I never knew this. That's crazy. I never knew that we all supposed to come together at 3 o'clock. For the hive-minded. It says on Monday to honor and mourn those who died serving in the U.S. military. So it's a day for veterans. You got Veterans Day and then you got Memorial Day. But just being a veteran, this is a day that they're supposed to honor you because you do have individuals that give their life for this country or have given their life. And the funny part is this country doesn't even respect or appreciate the veterans. My dad, he was a veteran. And you hear these horror stories. You got brothers that know the truth and that's in the truth and that were veterans. I remember it's a particular elder that I'm thinking of at the moment, and he was saying how, at one point in time he was homeless. Think about that. You're a veteran and you served your country, or you served this country, because I can't say this is our country. The brother believes what we believe the same thing, And so I don't acknowledge this being my country. I was brought here, my forefathers brought here. If I had a choice, I probably wouldn't have came here, you know what I mean? And with everything that glitters ain't gold, you know what I mean? And it's funny because, everybody looked at Babylon the Great, aka America, as the land of opportunity and yada, yada, yada. But now you're seeing it for what it truly is. Yeah. A shit show. You got people starving, struggling to, survive, and then you got Donald Trump still trying to build the White House to his liking, adding on to. That's another way that you know that this place is over with. I was just watching the title of a brother's lesson. He said America won't bounce back, and it won't. You got to think about it. The money system, everything is all so fucking discombobulated. Think about this. They literally, we're not even getting the proper money back. They came up with a whole new rule, just broke how money and finance work. Like, nigga, think about business deals and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. Like, nigga, you literally, okay, so if it's under 4 cents, they got to give you, they don't have to give you back the pennies. But if it's over, they got to, you know what I mean? Like, so basically, we not even dealing with they broke the whole principles of how money work, you know what I mean? Because you stop minting the penny. And they know this is by design, you get what I'm saying? But the point of the lesson is I was literally thinking about, it rained all week, right? We had a what do you want to call it? Like a hot spurt, it was hot, extremely hot, like the week prior. And then this week is rain most of the time, which when the weather, corrects itself or whatever, which, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, He controls the weather. But point being, when you got hot and colds and, different, that creates storms. You get what I'm saying? So ultimately, everybody look at it like a blessing, but then someplace else is being affected probably by some really fucked up weather. You know what I mean? It's like when a person, for New Year's, a lot of people, the tradition is, which go way, way back, I think to the Wild Wild West, motherfuckers will shoot their guns in the air, not realizing shooting a gun in the air, the bullet still got to go somewhere. So they'll shoot. They might not fall back where they shot it at, but it might, that's the Lord Because it might go through a motherfucker house that's sleeping. You know what I'm saying? They in the bed and get shot. You know what I'm saying? And the bullet probably even faster. Think about that when the bullet falling. But I remember seeing movies where motherfucker is shooting at you, then you jump in the water, and motherfucker act like that's going the bullet will travel through the water, you know. But anyhow, I was just thinking about Memorial Day and like say, I'm looking at the weather, and the weather is like a big ass fog. You know what I mean? I got a buddy that it's funny too because I was talking to him and we was just going on about what was going on. Which again, people ain't as stupid as we say. Like people are easily manipulated and motivated to do some goofy shit, or they focus. People want to be people want they want to live their best life, especially when things are harder now. So people trying to mask that that struggle. People trying to escape. I was talking to the dude, and like I said, we both was homeless at the same time. So that's how we came to know each other. And to the point he knew my demon and everything, and he was the first one to tell me my demon was a demon. He didn't say it like that, of course. And then I, on some sucker shit for real, because it's bros before hoes. But it's different when you like actually break bread and you running with some motherfuckers as opposed to somebody that you literally meeting, which it could go either way. But yeah, it was just different. Like I probably would have acknowledged it a lot better if it was somebody that I actually grew up with. But with him, and then I've never experienced this. Like what's that part of Dawn of the Dead? He's like, you trying to take away my family? He had the Bride of Frankenstein of that bitch. That bitch, but he never had a child. He grew up fucked up. He was emotional. But point being, I was telling him about the whole. He knew I was involved with the brothers. They would see me go down to the brothers. They would see me with the brothers. And speak. It was a few people that I was homeless with that would see that, what I mean? And nobody never really wanted to gravitate to it. And, the funny part is the Lord has dealt with him in a capacity, which he deals with us all to a degree, you know what I mean? Some more than others. But we was just talking about how fucked up everything is. And he was like, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. And I'm like, yeah, the only thing you can do is come back to the Lord, because nothing carnal is gonna save you. A lot of people, he got the good bike. He getting so much good money. He got just because he got a bike, he bought his broad a bike. I ain't call her no bitch, his woman a bike. He bought his woman a bike. You know what I mean? Well, she ain't got a bike. She got a one of them little 3-wheeler things. But he was just talking about how much it costs. He was like, yeah. I was like, he was like, it's about 16 bands. I was like, yeah. But he's the type like that. He's simple. He good dude, but being a good dude ain't gonna save you. You know what I'm saying? But I talked to him. I was like, only thing you can do is hit them knees and come back to Yahweh Shabbat Shah, because at the end of the day, that's the one that's bringing it. And I guess I said, and I wonder, I realized everybody ain't ready for us. You know what I mean? That's probably why I only dealt with the brothers. A nigga in the world is not gonna want to hear what we talk about. And then I realized that. But he called me today, like, because we had talked about, like, of course they was gonna barbecue, so I'm like, well, shit, maybe I'll come through. It's just, because he know he know my demon, and he know that I got children, so you know what I mean. So like he'll give him money or give me money, give them and bless them and shit like that. So but I was just thinking, and he called today because he was, and I'm trying to get up out of it. I had to really think about it, like, but. My point being, it was so dreary. I'm like, you do know it's about to rain. And he like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I know, I see it's about to rain, but ain't no point. He was like, they cooked all this food and shit, you know what I mean? So they just about to go out and eat. You better get to invite some other motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, I ain't good, But Salakia, I'm all over the place. But I was just, again, I'm out here now, right? I'm just sitting in my front yard in my car, and I'm my car facing the street. It's not one person out here cooking, and it just made me think about how the Lord is really taking the mirth away from this land. Again, people want to remember the veterans, and they want to remember these entertainers and actors, and remember all these individuals, but nobody want to give any thought to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, except for the true believers. If you want to keep something in your memory, keep the fear of the Lord. You know what I mean? But these people ain't gonna never do that. They not gonna acknowledge it until the Lord make his presence known. He gonna make you acknowledge him. That's why the scripture say in the book of Revelations, the first chapter, about how all eyes shall see him. And all, like, how it go? I'm gonna get it. I don't want to butcher it. And I'm gonna get it because this ain't meant to be long, but I just was, cause I was like, damn, the Lord really putting a squeeze on this bitch, like when I think of when the brother be saying squeeze, I think of the first Doom, the original Doom, because the original Doom was like I think like 3 or almost 4 hours long, but they split it up, the remake, which I didn't even I seen the first one. I didn't get to see the second part of it, which but yeah, but he, Harkonnen, I forgot what his name with the Harkonnens. I forgot who played his part, but he was telling his nephew, he was like, I want you to squeeze, because he had 2 nephews. He had Sting played in the original. He played the one. What is his name? Because they family was so cutthroat, like he hated his uncle, and the uncle hated him, but they worked together to get what the fuck it was. That was some gangster shit. Then he had the other one. He had 2 nephews though, but he told the fat one, which he Batista I think played the fat one in the new remake. But in the original, he like, I want you to squeeze and squeeze. He was eating. He was squeezing that nigga, like, squeeze. I want you to squeeze. The Lord is squeezing this motherfucker, right? Because I'm talking about motherfucker looking sick with it. Like, I finally see some people. He look like he about to go cut grass. The American dream is dead. Motherfucker, yeah. The other day I went to the liquor store, right? And it was motherfucker sitting up there, that's a good place to hustle at. You know what I mean? You sell, you selling oils, you selling perfume. You know what I mean? Like, motherfuckers gonna hustle. So I say to the lady, she like, you want to register to vote? I'm like, lady, I don't vote. And then she like, well, fuck the voting. Just want to put your name down and look out for me. And I was just felt sorry for her, like, cause bitch, that show you that people really they really fed up with the government. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I would do it, but that means you're gonna have my information. I don't want you to have my information. I don't want them to know. It's bad enough they get our information from other shit. I don't want them to have my information on file. I remember one time my brother said this though. He was like, in order to because they look at that shit like you getting benefits and whatnot, but you ain't registered. But Keisha can do that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because showing you how this devil used the Keishas and Shaniquas and shit like that, They don't really concerned about what the fuck they doing. They not concerned about, how they rearing the children or raising them or anything, This bitch could be, 40 dicks and 50 blunts, you know what I mean? All in front of the child, malnourished and everything. And then until she get caught up in some shit, that's when they want to check on them. Like, they not checking on these people like this. Now they might be doing a little something now because of the fact, like, they changed the rules of how a lot of shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody getting certain benefits, you got to be American citizen and all that shit. That's what it's saying. I don't know how it work for people that's got asylum or waiting to get citizenship. Shit, because that shit crazy, man. Like, again, the Lord doing major moves, like I say. And at any moment, shit can go from bad to worse. Because we at bad, but we ain't seen worse yet. Like I said, when you still able to move around, when you still able to sustain yourself, yeah, shit fucked up. Yeah. A slab of ribs, $50, $48. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's bad. But at the same time, we not ignorant because you got brothers that delve into a lot of stuff. They said beef is gonna go up. All this shit gonna go up again because of the simple fact of the gas, which they say they're gonna run out. I think they said California gonna run out within 6 weeks. So it's probably gonna be more than that. That was, if they saying they're gonna run out by July 4th. And then this man talking about throwing a whole celebration for July 4th. And that's cold too, how the Lord did that, because that July 4th makes it 250 years, you know. But Revelation chapter 1, and point is verse 7, and it reads, Behold, he cometh with clouds. I'm going to start up. It's the book of Revelations 1 and verse 5. And from Jesus Christ, or Yahushua Mashiach, who is the faithful witness and the first begotten of the dead, and the prince of the kings of the earth, unto him that loveth us and washed us from our sins in his own blood, and hath made us kings and priests unto the Most High, and his Father. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all the kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, Amen. Yeah, I mixed up two different scriptures, because I know it's a scripture that all knees shall bow. But pretty much the Lord's gonna make everybody acknowledge him, because he's coming with great wrath. So again, this lesson was inspired by just a thought and seeing. Like again, I ain't seen one grill, I ain't smelt nothing burning, nothing. You know, I saw a dude put a lawnmower on a truck and drag, because he about to go make some money. Fuck these holidays, you know what I mean? And Wicked Witch is dead. You know what I'm saying? This book of Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 1, and it reads, Judgment on the whole earth. Behold, the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel shall maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for the Lord Yahweh Bashmiel shall have spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. You go to that word haughty, it pretty much goes back to the proud, which Babylon the Great, you know, has a pompous, arrogant spirit. You know, scriptures talk about as the ruler of the city is, so is the people. So, you know these elites, you know, like Idumeans, that's pretty much in the background, you know, pulling the strings of these individuals that they place before you. Like these people ain't making moves, they're following the script. That's what the elder always say, that they got to do what they told or else. You know, Putin said he got photos and he know what Donald Trump did. You get what I'm saying? Donald Trump is, I mean, be honest, weak. That nigga weak. Yeah, a weak, proud motherfucker. You hear the threats he told me, you're gonna do this or else. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers lightweight. You know, I was watching that dude. I always forget his name, but they call him the Grim Reaper, that Army Ranger sniper, the Jake. And he was like, them people, you got to think. He was like, you know, when you take time to think about it, he was like, these people have been around longer than 250 years. He said these people literally done seen this topple and seen that topple. You sit up here fucking with these people, like who wanted more? Who like I said that. I said, shit, this ain't Venezuela. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the elder brother said that. I remember that. He was like, yeah, Maduro talking this shit. You know. And the elder was completely correct. I didn't think it would just be like that, because of the simple fact, they was allied with certain people, but they had a bigger interest with China. I mean, China and Iran have a bigger interest because of the fact that Iran is part of the BRIC nations. Well, I think Venezuela was trying to join. I don't think they was part of it yet. Because you got to remember, the BRICS nations ain't exactly like NATO. NATO is a military alliance as well. Well, the BRICS is just a financial one. But that's why they making it known, like, China, like, we have interest with them. So if you do something out of pocket, we gonna get involved. And that's really sad too, when you take time to think about it, that this little bitty nation is putting hands on Babylon the Great. It ain't sad. It's prophetic. It's spiritual. It's real deep, because the whole world is witnessing this. Like, damn, the big bully getting bullied. You're getting bullied because you can't go through the straight. That's a bully move, nigga. You can't come up here. I got 2 dogs, right? I ain't gonna say the breeds because these motherfuckers be watching, right? But they both aggressive dogs, and I always literally like assume one of the brothers had a litter, and he couldn't get rid of the puppies. I think that was his first litter. I dealt with litter before. That's what I only got the dog for my children for real. I didn't want no motherfucking dog. But I took it and looked at it spiritually too because it's only like a couple brothers that got the dog. The individual that ended up selling, I'm gonna just tell it. The one I ain't gonna say individual. The one brother, he said, I'm sure he's still in good standing, but I'm not in individual's mind. But anyhow, he had a big ass huge litter too, and it was decent. So, but I guess he was getting attacked by Satan so much he started doing weird shit. Like he got rid of all of them. Yeah, like it was a lot happening to him. I think his woman and him got into it. She left him and shit, but then she ended up coming back. Like DMX said, let the dog out, and if he come back, it was men or something like that. So basically, she ended up coming back, but he got rid of most of the puppies, just like threw them bitches out, and then a lot of brothers that had the dogs, they couldn't keep the dog or something happened to the dog. But, I was one. I know a couple brothers' dogs got stolen. But now that same brother that had the litter, because I think he took the parents to the kennel, probably made her feel like shit because she went and got the dog. But he ended up getting a son he ended up getting one of the puppies back. So that's how it's so funny how that all worked out. And he was like, he kind of reminded him of, he was like the energy that the dog he got matches the energy I got of my dog, It was like they kind of like the water out the bunch. And then I got another dog because I wanted to see just if I could like control it because it's like it's like one of them. So it was just funny because they never was doing this shit. Now they can't stand each other guts. And at first I didn't look at it like that because I'm like, well, shit, one is younger than the other one, so one got to be baby boy. But they ain't on that shit. They ain't going. Neither one like nigga. So they started to get into it all the time now to the point where they drawing blood. And I'm like, oh shit. So now it was a point I was making up with this dude. I can't even remember. That's how tired I am for it. It was a point I was gonna make by bringing this up. But ultimately, like I said again, yeah, that's the point though. Like, I mean, you try to bully. I read like nigga, you ain't about to. So that's probably why I brought it up with the dog. Because again, one is like a whole year older than the other one, and at first he was baby boying him, and he was letting him, but then I wasn't. I think I was at work or something, and I got a roommate. I ain't gonna say no woman, a roommate, and she was like, yeah, just one day, he start not letting him, and then that's what it was. I watched him, like the nigga wouldn't even let the other nigga eat, like, so it ain't even bullying like food aggression. Food aggression, is easy to deal with because you just take away the food or you don't feed them together. If you got a litter of dogs, usually it's always gonna be one alpha. That's just the facts. But these two like jockeying for alpha, and dogs like it's unlike humans. Like a human to submit, a dog might, like, he might tuck his tail, but once he got to this point, now they bleeding and shit. They both of them want that shit. Like, so that's what Iran's doing. You know what I mean? Like, all that shit. And all this doing is going to affect the whole planet. It's affected the whole planet now. Which is all by design. You get like the elder said, I can see it, Literally, Iran want to be part of this shit too, They just want to be in a certain position when they part of it, you know what I mean? You think Russia is not gonna be part of it? Like you don't know who you know what I'm saying? Like everybody, why do you think all these nations from Russia to China to Babylon the Great all have digital? Like Russia has a digital dollar. I forgot what it's called. China has a digital dollar. I think it's the digital yuan or something like that. So, again, I forgot who went into that, but it was like there's so many countries that are developed in development or have developed, digital money. This thing coming regardless. Because it's the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Verse 5, the point. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. And the scriptures talk about who are thou to declare my laws and statutes. Yeah, roughly paraphrase. Esau, Edom has no part in this book. I was listening to my brother do a video on the Jake that looked like he was military. You know, these ignorant and racist ass people. What the word racist goes back to you being for your race. It's kind of frustrating, but it's not. It's kind of laughable too. You make me like again. You always gonna have a coon tap dancing ass nigga that's just love his oppressor. You know, that's a real like. You know, I forgot what her name was, but that Stockholm Syndrome shit, like that's real. You know what I mean? How you gonna be with the same motherfuckers that kidnapped you? Like you can't beat them, join them. Huh? Like the fuck. Elder brother just did a lesson title. He said, "I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees." Roughly paraphrased. Verse 6. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are born, are burned, and few men left. The new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry hearted do sigh. And that's the point. I said 5 was the point. No, that's the point. All the merry hearted sigh. A motherfucker that was usually always just, cheesing from ear to ear. Now they nigga like, man, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like shit hard. That good job is out the window shit. And the thing is, the good job would be more of a liability. Because you got to think about it. When you got, the more money you got, the more shit you buy. And then we got this like again, I was talking about the dude I know, like I said, he got the nice truck, leasing, he got the nice bike, leasing, or he might be paid. I mean, you paying all these bills going out, you know what I mean? And he maintaining, you know what I mean? He got to go, but shit, like, yeah, and that's when I realized, because like I said, I'm like, oh yeah, people don't really want to talk to us because we like prophets of doom. Like, you're right. Yeah. But if you think it's a future in this place, then yeah, you're truly doomed. Verse 8, the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoice endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. They shall not drink wine with a song, strong drink shall be better to them that drink it. And that's the thing, like it's about going to like how the clubs or the bars and listening to music, enjoying yourself. That shit dead. Like I said, this says a lot, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just about it's look like it's about to rain. And that's what I really like. It'd been nice to hang around him. It would been nice for him to see my children. But at the same time, like, yeah, nah, a nigga sitting up here still trying to go out because you with his son, I guess, got a little lady friend of his or his woman or whatever, and because he was telling me about his son got a new girlfriend, so he's more so on it, you know. And I had talked to him like, yeah, I mean, like, but like shit, you be all right. Still, you know what I mean? They'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel stupid because I wouldn't want nobody to do that to me, but at the same time, like, nigga, y'all worry about the wrong shit. Your son is in La La Land. You know, they're like, your son live with you. You up here still trying to baby boy this nigga. Like, the fuck? You should be up there trying to motherfucker get about your house. Your son ain't no 15, 17. This nigga grown. This nigga like 30s up. Like, the fuck? Yeah, priorities all fucked up, dude. You know what I'm saying? you know. So he cooked all this food. Like shit. All I was gonna bring. Well, yeah, he know I got children. Then so it's been like extra 5 people. But anyhow, Salaki, my mind everywhere. But yeah, that says a lot. You know what I mean? Again, I'm talking about it. I went to the store. I'm talking about all you can see is it's not smog. It's a fog. The Lord really just like fucked up thing. And then the way it's looking, you can tell it's gonna be like it look like it's gonna rain at any point. Motherfuckers try to light up the grill and this will probably start raining. So you might get away with it at a park. I'm sure it's gonna be some people at the park, but then all of them don't got those gazebos. All these parks don't got no gazebos. I told them to go east. They told me I'm going west. Fuck you going west for? The one on the east got a gazebo. You letting this nigga run it, so yeah, y'all run it. The fuck? Verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down, every house is shut up, that no man may come in. There's a crying for wine in the streets. You know, all joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Yeah. They'll want this knowledge. If people want to know what the fuck going on, that's what the crime of the wine in the streets is. All joy is darkened. People don't. What's that in Ecclesiastes chapter 12? Look out the windows and the city be darkened. You don't see no hope. And that's why I said again, I ain't smelt a grill burning yet. Usually people get, on this shit early. You can feel the rain now. Who doesn't check the weather before they, I mean, like, who don't do that? Verse 11, there is a cry for one, verse 12, the city in the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. When thus it shall be in the midst of the land among the people, there shall be as the shaking of an olive tree, and as the gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty. Salaki, they shall sing for the majesty of the Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahushua, they shall cry aloud among the sea. Wherefore glorify ye the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua in the fires, even the name of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, power of Israel in the isles of the sea. So even because what's that in the Apocrypha? I think it's Second Ezra. It might be 7. Talks about there's a fire on one side and water on the other. Both two dangerous places. So in the midst of this danger, we supposed to still glorify Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We gonna, think about it. In the wilderness, he was glorified. Made me think of what's that? Exodus 15 when they were singing that song. The Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua is a man of war. Yeah, so I'm gonna end the lesson there. Again, a lot, happening. Period. But I just, I noticed. I was like, God damn, this looks so gloomy out here. Like, it looked gloomy. Real talk. Get your mind right. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments of your power. True name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You will be destroyed. With that, I want to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Elohim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kodash. Double honors to the elders and to the apostles who told me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and Aquath out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to this truth to you. I say shalom. Till next time, Lord, willingly, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasharala and Mawaf Lababal.